Have you ever truly pondered why cats seem to possess such a heightened sixth sense? Why do many people feel a deep spiritual connection with these enigmatic felines? Is there something magical in their behavior, in their silences, and in their ability to perceive what we often cannot see? This bond that unites humans and cats has ancient roots, and one of history's most beloved saints, Saint Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals, knew secrets that few of us can imagine. According to lesser-known legends, Saint Francis left behind predictions and teachings specifically intended for those who live with cats, creatures he considered special in their relationship with the invisible realm. Could there be a deeper spiritual reason behind the presence of a cat in your life? Perhaps our feline friends are not simply pets, but spiritual guides that cross the thin boundaries between the spiritual and physical worlds. An ancient tale, jealously guarded by the Franciscan friars, recounts one of the most fascinating miracles performed by Saint Francis. On a cold winter's night, the streets of Assisi were deserted, wrapped in silence and frost. The stars shone high in the sky, but the air was heavy with melancholy, as if a heavy shadow enveloped the entire village. The inhabitants lived in fear, with withering crops and a sense of misfortune that seemed to hover over everything. At the center of this malaise was a solitary and sick creature, a cat that the villagers believed to be cursed. Since the feline's appearance, everything seemed to go wrong, and so they avoided it, fearing its presence as if it carried a dark fate. But that night, in a scenario where superstition reigned, Saint Francis of Assisi walked alone through the fields, deep in meditation and prayer. The cold did not disturb him. His heart was warmed by faith and compassion. Suddenly, as his path led him among the trees, a muffled lament reached his ears. It was a faint sound, almost a whisper in the night. But to Francis, it was unmistakable. It was the call of a suffering creature. He followed the sound until, beneath an old, centuries-old tree, he spotted the cat huddled among the roots. The poor animal seemed ready to succumb to the cold and illness. Its eyes were dim, and its trembling body showed signs of a life of suffering. However, Francis did not see in it what others saw. There was no curse, no darkness in that cat. The saint perceived something else, a victim of the village's fears and distorted beliefs. Francis approached slowly, kneeling before the cat as he would before any of God's creatures. With infinite gentleness, he laid his hands on the animal's head, whose breath was now weak and irregular. He began to pray softly. His words were whispered, almost imperceptible, but charged with such deep faith that it seemed to vibrate in the air. Witnesses hidden behind the trees reported that a golden light began to radiate from Francis's hands, enveloping the cat in a warm and luminous aura. Time seemed to stand still. The stars in the sky shone even more intensely, as if the entire universe was witnessing this sacred moment. The miracle happened before the unbelieving eyes of the observers. The cat, which seemed destined to die, slowly began to move. First, it raised its head, then its eyes filled with new life. Its fur, which had been dull and damaged, began to shine under the moonlight. Francis, with a serene smile, whispered to it, "You are a creature of God, worthy of love. Rise and walk, for divine grace has reached you." To the amazement of those present, the cat rose, first slowly, then with more strength. Its body, which only moments before had been sick and fragile, now seemed full of vitality. It stretched, took a few steps, and then ran away into the fields, free from the pain and illness that had tormented it. The next day, the village awoke to a new light. The fields, which until then had been sterile and arid, began to bloom. The air, which had been dense with melancholy, now vibrated with renewed joy. The inhabitants, who had feared and blamed the cat as a bringer of misfortune, began to see it in a new light. The animal, now considered a sign of blessing, wandered through the village, bringing prosperity and peace wherever it went. When Saint Francis was asked about what had happened, he smiled humbly and said, "It was not I, but the hand of God that worked through that small creature." From that moment on, the cat was no longer seen as a bearer of curse, but as a symbol of hope, healing, and blessing. The miracle of that night changed not only the life of the animal, but also that of the entire village. Fear transformed into faith, superstition into love, and sadness into joy. This ancient tale reminds us all that even in the smallest creatures and in the most difficult situations, there is always the possibility of rebirth and transformation. Saint Francis teaches that every living being is worthy of love and compassion, and that in healing others, we can also heal ourselves. But what did the saint predict for those who live with cats? He not only saw cats as creatures worthy of love, but also considered them bearers of divine messages. One of the most fascinating predictions linked to Saint Francis concerns the lunar cycle. In particular, when the full moon appears 3 times in the same month, if during this rare event your cat meows at dawn, it is said to be announcing a period of spiritual renewal. Its meowing at this precise moment is not random, but a message that carries an imminent transformation. This special phenomenon symbolizes a profound alignment of body, mind, and spirit, indicating that it is the ideal time to look within and reflect on your life. The cat in these circumstances becomes a true spiritual signal. Its behavior is an invitation to pause, become aware, and prepare for a positive change that could arrive in your existence. If you are fortunate enough to live with a cat and notice this sign, it might be the right moment to take a break and meditate on what is happening inside and around you. This is a call to renew your spirit and open yourself to new opportunities for personal and spiritual growth. Another fascinating revelation attributed to Saint Francis concerns what happens at 3 a.m., a time known as the Hour of Souls. According to spiritual tradition, this is a phase when the boundary separating the physical world from the spiritual world becomes extremely thin, creating a sort of passage between the two planes. At this moment, spiritual energies are particularly active and present, ready to interact with our world. Saint Francis believed that in this special hour, the sensitivity of cats was particularly heightened. If your cat, which can usually be active or meowing during the night, remains strangely silent and calm at 3 o'clock a.m., this could be a significant sign. Its silence in this spiritually charged phase could be an invitation for you to connect with the divine, to take a moment to pray, or to seek guidance and comfort in higher energies. The cat's silence at 3 o'clock a.m. could also herald an angelic or spiritual visit. In this state of quietude, it's as if your cat is perceiving the presence of beneficial energies, protecting you or acting as an intermediary between you and the spiritual world. Saint Francis saw cats not only as observers, but as true guides capable of helping us connect with what goes beyond the visible. Therefore, in those moments of profound silence at 3 o'clock a.m., listen carefully. It could be a signal that something sacred is about to manifest in your life. The saint also attributed mystical significance to the movements of these extraordinary felines. A particular example is linked to the 7th day of each season. If on this day you observe your cat walking in a circle, it is not just a random gesture. According to tradition, the cat is symbolically drawing the sign of eternity, representing the continuous cycle of life, death, and rebirth. This circular movement recalls the concept of infinity, a cycle that has no beginning or end. Every time your cat performs this movement, it is an invitation to pause and reflect. It is reminding you that life is a continuous flow in which every end leads to a new beginning. It is a signal to meditate on your spiritual path and the profound meaning of your existence, helping you recognize that even difficult moments are part of this natural cycle of transformation and rebirth. But cats are not only messengers of the divine, they are also guardians. Saint Francis believed they had the ability to protect people from negative energies, able to perceive what our senses cannot grasp. Thanks to their sensitivity, cats can sense the presence of adverse influences or negative spirits. If you notice your cat behaving unusually, such as staring intensely at an empty point or reacting to something invisible, this could be a sign that it is protecting you and your home. Its behavior could indicate that it is seeing, or better said, perceiving energies that you cannot detect. In these moments, Saint Francis advised staying calm and not getting scared. Instead of letting fear take over, you could recite a protection prayer to purify the environment from negative energies. Your cat, according to Saint Francis, acts for you as an intermediary with the invisible world, protecting you and helping you maintain a serene and positive spiritual environment. These prophecies and teachings remind us that the presence of cats in our lives could be much more than a simple coincidence. According to Saint Francis, cats are spiritual companions capable of helping us find balance, protection, and healing. If you own a cat, take a moment to reflect on what your feline friend might be revealing to you and how its presence might guide you on your path to greater spiritual awareness. Finally, Saint Francis taught us all that every creature deserves love and healing, just like the cat in the Miracle of Assisi. The message of hope and renewal that Saint Francis left to humanity through his interactions with the animal world continues to inspire us and remind us of the importance of living in harmony with the world and natural creation. Have you ever noticed your cat behaving strangely during particular moments of the day or night? Have you felt that deep, almost mystical connection that seems to unite you with it? Perhaps it's trying to communicate something greater to you, a hidden message or an invisible protection. If you've had similar experiences or if your cat has performed actions that have made you reflect, tell us in the comments. We're curious to know your stories, your experiences, and to discover together what your felines might reveal to you. We thank you infinitely for watching this video. If this content has inspired you, we ask you to give us your precious like and subscribe to the Mental Dose channel and the Telegram channel for more content on wisdom and spirituality. Your support is fundamental to us. Also, share it with anyone you think might benefit from it, and we'll see you in the next video.